This is what $800 gets you at the government auction. You guys know I am a sucker for a good deal. I wasn't even planning on buying one of these, but when I saw it going through for $800, I just had to have it. Is it a diamond in the rough, or is it scrap iron? We're gonna find out. So this truck is a 1997 LMTV, or light medium tactical vehicle. It's made by Stewart and Stevenson is the model and manufacturer of this truck. Four-wheel drive. This one is set up as just a simple flatbed. Now, I picked this truck up from the state of Hawaii, so I was very concerned about this thing being super rusty, or the nickname they call these trucks are Guam bombs, because they get so entirely rusty, they're pretty much scrap metal. But I took a risk on it, and I'm hoping that it pays off. All right, Robert, you didn't like the LVSR. What do you think of the LMTV?
Pretty cool. This one's kind of cool.
This is probably my favorite truck so far, just because of the ease of usability of the vehicle.
This one's actually something we're going to use.
I think we're going to use this thing for going to Nevada, picking up transmissions.
It's like an Isuzu.
Right?
Need a little lube.
It's not crazy rusty. I mean, it's like got a bunch of surface rust on it, but I don't see anything completely rotted out on it.
You put a sleeper in this thing.
Right? Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
It's surprisingly quiet when I drove it in here. It's not like the Humvee.
It has actual floor mat. Like, probably Denton's.
Does it have floors still? Oh yeah. I mean, it's starting to disintegrate. Underneath doesn't look too bad. So we're trying to figure out how to lift this cab up. We're looking it up so we know how to do it. Give me a break. First time owning one of these trucks. First sign that this thing might be from an island, you know, other than, you know, rust chunks. This used to be an ether can for starting aid, and you know, she's a little rusty. Hopefully the rest of the truck isn't like this underneath. Trying to figure out how to get the cab to tilt up, and we'd hit this button, and it's air actuated. I should have just looked behind it. There's a little push lock in here, little like nylon fitting, and it came loose. So I'm gonna try sticking that back into the fitting. Work.
Uh-oh.
Well, she's spraying fluid, but it sounds like it's deadheading like that. Like there's a lock somewhere that we haven't found yet. So what are we doing wrong? It's definitely hitting like a deadhead lock. So here's what I believe is happening here. This is the latching mechanism for the top of the cab, and there's a pin in here that I believe is hydraulically actuated. And with it leaking right here, I don't think it's building up enough pressure to push that pin over to unlatch this thing. As much as I'd like to go and just take this thing for a drive, we really need to get that cab latch working and inspect the engine and make sure all the belts are on it, it's full of oil, it's got antifreeze, check all the condition underneath this thing before we can really drive it. So unfortunately, we need to fix that latch before we can really do anything with this truck. So Robert's gonna go run over to the other side of the shop, and we're gonna get a big socket, try and take apart that latch, see if we have some O-rings, possibly fix that latch to get it into working condition again, see if we can get this cab tilted over. 46 isn't right, but it fits. So I found the source of our leak. I was able to get that piston out of there. That's what's left of the O-ring. It's just coming out in chunks. I think if we fix that, we're gonna have an operational latch, and then we can finally look at this engine. Give that to you. We should have a nice little seal kit that'll take care of that. Oh yeah, I think you nailed it, bud.
It's kind of rolled.
It's getting there. Trying to unroll it. That should do the thing. I think you freaking nailed it, dude.
You think it'll work?
I think so.
Okay.
We'll find out if it starts leaking instantly, right? Okay. That should fix our problem. What are the odds it works? We still got air pressure?
Should. There's no air leaks, so.
Should just check real quick. Whoa, big jump. That seal fixed it. Now you should be able to manually jack this thing up. Nice. Sweet. And I am very aware that a yellow O-ring should not go in there, but it's a 20-cent O-ring, and if it didn't work, it was just gonna leak. We just go find the right one, but look at that, it fixed it. Now we have an operational
For the time being.
hood lift.
Well, you have an automatic hood lift. I have a manual hood lift.
Yes, Robert is the automatic hood lift. What do you think, Bomba?
The cut engine?
Yeah, 3116.
116, yes.
Good engine.
Yeah.
You ever rebuild a 3116?
Yes.
In what machine?
915F.
950F.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
This is gonna take him a second, so we'll be right back. You want me to help?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Hey, can't say I didn't ask. She doesn't look terrible, I'll give it that. So those of you wondering, that is a 3116 Caterpillar engine. It's backed by an Allison automatic transmission. I'm really happy we were able to get the hood up on this thing. Now we can really check this thing over. Make sure it's got all the fluids in it. Alternator looks good, the belts look okay. So it's gonna be a little bit easier to work on with the cab up. Once we check everything, we can close the cab, take it for a little bit of a spin, get it over to the wash bay, and get all of this schmuck removed off of this truck, because it's got a lot of film and salt and dirt and mud, and looks like a little bit of mold up there too from traveling on that barge all the way from Hawaii to Seattle. Everything looks like it's actually in pretty good shape here. We should probably check everything while we have it open and just make sure everything looks okay. Where's the dipstick on this guy? I think the dipstick, oh, that's really tucked in there, isn't it? Did it look okay?
Yeah.
It's right on the full mark. Excellent. Close that up. Wonder if it tells you how old the fuel filters are. Yeah, they have not written it on there. They have a little bit of surface rust on them too. So we'll go ahead and we'll get some fuel filters ordered for it. Fuel water separator. That thing looks pretty little old, not horrible. We'll get one of those ordered for it too. Get an oil change ordered for it. I did check the water. You can actually check it in this little sight glass right here. And it's perfectly right there. So we're good on water, good on oil. It's running, so obviously it has fuel. Nice, I'm glad we were able to fix that little latch right there. That was kind of a bear to fix.
Yeah, we got it.
Got it figured out.
20-cent movie.
Well, let's go ahead. Well, I guess we'll let it back down. And now we're going to at least drive it around a little bit. We should check the axles and the diffs, but we'll do that later. I kind of want to get all this stuff washed off this thing, get all the crusties and the film really sprayed down, and then we'll go ahead and check all the differentials, bring it back in here. That way we're not tracking in a bunch of dirt and a bunch of crud. So I'm glad we did this though inside, because that's definitely a lot easier to fix stuff like that inside. Bam, day 2. It's a little bit brighter out this morning. Hopefully the truck starts. Hopefully the door opens. There we go. Do we still have power? Yeah. And will we start? All right. Try again. Got it. We'll give her a little bit of hand throttle. There we go. We'll let that thing warm up, build some air pressure, and then bring it over to the wash bay. Good to go. Heater does not work. We're gonna have to fix that. That's gonna be a problem. Definitely making some weird noises. Find another big problem too is our CTIS keeps blinking here, so we really need that to work to air up and keep our tires at the proper pressure, so we got to look into that too. So we definitely have a giant air leak in there. That's probably part of our problem for our CTIS, is these things do not like air leaks. And this hose really isn't that good a shape either. So that's not good. We might have to just manually air up our tires for now until we can fix those. They say to make sure all your doors are closed, but that thing's so rusty it doesn't really want to open. So I think it'll be just fine. And something to do with the latch on it, we're gonna have to look into, because the door doesn't want to close. By the end of this video, I am gonna be a pro cab jacker offer for sure. Or we just gotta fix the automatic lift. Now we've got some acid here, which is really good for getting all of this corrosion, this stuff off of here. It's called Zeppalum. We're gonna spray that on there, kind of coat all this stuff down, coat the tires down, hit all the lug studs. It should take a lot of that scaly rust off of there and make this clean, so when we go to service this whole engine later today, no dirt entry. So I just kind of hose this thing down with that acid. Not sure if you can pick it up on camera, but it's smoking right now. And most of that smoke is actually a gas that's coming off of the acid. So it's not from the heat or the water vapor. You really don't want to breathe that in, but it works really well. So we're gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes on here, and it should strip a lot of this surface rust off of all this engine here. Like all that red down there should go away. This should look pretty fresh once we spray it. So I'll probably hit this one more time, but if you look at it, it's just a complete night and day difference. Really, really eats all the acid, just eats into that rust. Look at the lug studs here. Cleans them right up. Now it's called Zeppalum. It's very, very powerful, so you need to be super careful when you apply it. Like windshields and stuff like that, it'll etch them and make them really blurry, so really be careful about spraying it on glass. But paint, metal surfaces, aluminum surfaces, it just cleans it right up. And I'm gonna apply it probably 2 more times. Probably hit this wheel again here, and it's gonna take all of that surface rust off of there. I'm gonna hit these leaf springs again, really give this thing a deep clean, get underneath the truck. We don't have a bunch of oil leaks yet, which is super good. I'm gonna hit this bumper again, get underneath it here, spray those heavily rusted areas, and just try and get as much of that scale off as possible. But you can tell it's just an absolute night and day difference when you spray that acid on there. So when you're spraying this stuff, it's like a 1/3 mixture. So you apply about that much acid and then fill the rest with water. It's like an aluminum brightener on crack. It really eats into this stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this 2 or 3 more times, hit the cab, get this thing cleaned up, and we'll see it after it's done. Skull and crossbones. Be very careful if you decided to buy this stuff, which you can get it from your local like pressure washer store. Just ask, or any local ZEP dealer will sell it. We use this on all of our machines, especially when we're bringing them in for parts. We hit it with this stuff and it works out great. Just make sure you are in a well ventilated area. Do not breathe this stuff in. It is horrible for you, but it really cleans the heck out of tractors. That is for sure. So fill it up about 1/3 of the way. That's about 1/3. And I'm just gonna use the pressure washer to fill it up with. But here's what it is. ZEP Alume. It's like an aluminum brightener, but way more concentrated. So here you go about that. Put this on, and it's gonna foam over. Don't touch it, because it will actually start stinging on your hands. Tighten that down, and then just kind of hose this. Hose all of it off. But we'll spray it down. The second spray really makes a big difference because you've already knocked all that big stuff off of there, and you can see it just eating all that corrosion off. So I'm just gonna apply it again, and we'll see it when it's done. So here's round 2. Really got the rest of it kind of cleaned up. And it's not gonna take off, obviously, big chunks of rust, but it really takes off all the scale pretty well. All the boots look nice and clean now. All of our electrical fittings look really good. Stripped off all the corrosion from these brass fittings down here. The paint looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna lower the cab down now, spray the rest of the cab off. Again, being careful about hitting the windows. Get the rest of that all cleaned up, and then we'll move it into the shop where we need to fix that CTIS. We need to fix, well, we need to do an oil change, not really fixing it, but we need to do an oil change. We don't know how long it's been sitting for. We need to fix a couple air leaks, and that heater also. We need a heater because it's the kind of getting in the winter time. We gotta have some heat in that cab if we're gonna use this thing. Sprayed down the rest of the truck, and the difference is just night and day. Got all of the mold off the top of it. I did spray the glass with the ZEP Alume. If you're careful, it won't hurt the glass, but you can't like reapply it 1,000 times or it will etch it, so you gotta be careful about that. I am not responsible if you screw that up. Wheel cleaned up pretty good. Sprayed the rest of the frame. Got the back of the truck pretty cleaned up. Didn't really hit the bed too much. My main concern was underneath the hood, or underneath the cab here, getting the engine all cleaned up. Let's go ahead and get this thing moved back into the shop so we can get it serviced and see if we can fix that CTIS and we can fix that heater. I think that door's all messed up too. Yeah, she don't like to close or do nothing. She just kind of, something's messed up there we gotta look at. We do have a little bit of a leak. Probably something to do with that big giant rust hole. Probably gotta fix that too. Hopefully it starts. Nice. Unlock. Yeah. So it closes now, unlocks. Kind of work that corner a little bit with a flathead screwdriver. Hopefully that makes it a little bit of a difference. Nice. Well, that's one problem down. let's get the cab lifted, get the oil changed, get the fuel filter changed, just get all that out of the way, because again, we have no idea how long it's been since that thing's been serviced. So just play on the safe side, get all the fluids changed in this thing.
Hope we don't make a ginormous mess. Okay, hopefully I lined this up correctly. Oh boy, here we go. Nice. Perfect shot.
So while we're waiting to get our filters and our oil from the cat dealer, I'm gonna go ahead and grease all of the U-joints on this thing. It's probably something that's rarely done, but I'm gonna make sure that we get all these U-joints greased on this truck, or everything with a grease nipple greased up, because the last thing I want is to be driving this in the middle of nowhere and have a failure because I didn't grease something up. So I'm gonna make sure that gets done right now.
Good, they're taking grease, which is good. Yep, you can hear it taking grease. Good deal.
That's a big win.
See the grease shooting out of there? So both the rear U-joints are greased. We'll get to the front now. Yeah. There had to be one that was a pain in the butt to get to. Try again. Okay, that feels pretty good. Come on. There it goes. Nice. Nice. Oh, it always makes such a big mess, but it's definitely worth it. I'd rather have grease than no grease. Got that side of the way. Now we'll just check our diffs and see where we're at with oil on those. See if those need to be changed or if we can leave that. Please don't be rusted stuck. Nice.
There's actually quite a bit of metal in here, so we're gonna change that oil out. That's just too much. You can see the glitter in there. That I thought it was air. It's definitely metal. So we're gonna order a 5-gallon bucket of 90 weight from Napa, get this all drained out, refill this one, and we'll check the rear, make sure it's not like this one too. This is the perfect time while we're waiting for all of our filters and our oils. If you like watching this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers, and I can only do that if you hit that button. So please, if you like watching me work on this kind of stuff, please subscribe to the channel.
Now hopefully the bottom one comes out. Uh-oh. There it goes.
Nice. I was lucky. So just a little bit of schmutz on there. Doesn't look too horrid. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this diff. It just has a little bit of schmutz on it. I'm gonna spray that off and we'll just fill it back up with some brand new 90 weight. She'll be good to go. Alrighty, plug her in. Pump her full. Done. So all of our fuel filters and our oil filters have shown up. Cat filters. Cat didn't have the fuel water separator, so I got that from Napa. And I went with this bigger 1R0751 fuel filter. I'm gonna see if it fits in there. This is for 3116 and it should go on there. This is for like equipment and it's a lot bigger. If it fits in there, we're gonna try and stick it in there. If it doesn't fit, then we will go with the smaller Napa one because Cat didn't have the smaller version. We'll just give it a shot. Hopefully the bigger one fits. I already broke it loose with our oil filter wrench. We don't make a huge mess. Nice. I think we're gonna be good there. Okay. Sneak it out of here. Oh, we made a little bit of a mess. New 1R1807 going in. I was able to like half pre-lube it with that angle in here. Hopefully we can get it in the rest of the way. Come on now. Got it. On by hand and then one full turn. Get a rag. See if I can get it on a little bit tighter. There we go. Good to go. So I got 5 gallons. Caterpillar 1540. I know there's a bunch of different preferences on oils. This isn't actually much more expensive than regular Dello or any other 1540 you buy. You can actually sometimes get this cheaper than going to like an auto parts store. So if you're ever looking for 1540 heavy duty diesel oils, 1030, whatever, try your local Cat dealer because sometimes they'll have deals going on and you can get this pretty cheap. Right on the add mark, so we're about a gallon low, I would think. Didn't want to go crazy with it right off the bat, so we'll dump another gallon in it. It should be good to go. And we're right above operating range, which is perfect because I wasn't able to fill that oil filter up all the way. So I'm gonna call that square. I'm gonna move on now to the main fuel filter and then our fuel water separator, and it looks like the Cat filter that I got, unfortunately, is too long to go in there. So we're gonna have to use the other Napa one that I got, but it was definitely worth a shot. We'll just put this on the shelf for later. I'm gonna go ahead and do the water separator first because that one looks like the most pain in the butt. Next we'll do the other fuel filter, and then we'll re-bleed this system, and hopefully it fires back up when we let the cab down. Only drawback to working on a cab that flips up is if you get a bunch of air or something in here, you're gonna have to lift the cab back up to bleed all the air out of it. So hopefully I get it right the first time. I'd say she's a little rusty. How big of a mess are we gonna make? Not terrible. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but there is a ton of crap in there. That is a good reason to change that thing out. But screw it on. Okay. Not go crazy tight, but not tight enough. That'll do it. So this one's out, replaced. We got this other fuel filter to replace. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install these dry. I'm gonna crack this top line here, which is our return fuel line. I'm gonna start pumping on this until we see fuel coming out of that, and that should bleed the system out. New fuel filter A. This is our main fuel filter going in. See if I can get it one-handed here. New fuel filters installed. I'm gonna crack this line loose. Should be a 3/4 or 19. There we go. Now that's our return. I'm just gonna pump on this guy now. It should fill up all of our filters, and we should have fuel coming out of here. I'm not sure if you can hear that. You can hear air coming out of it. We're just gonna pump until we have a super steady stream of diesel coming out of here. Finish pumping up on this guy. It's getting real hard. Check that, we had a nice steady stream of diesel coming out of the return line. We should be able to go and fire this thing up. I hope this doesn't backfire on me. 50-50 shot. Usually you can fill these filters with diesel. It's kind of a personal preference, I guess. I went without that option this time. Hopefully it doesn't bite me, but I think we got all the air out of it. Yeah, it's rock solid. So I think we're good to go. I'm gonna lower the cab now, fire this thing up, and check for leaks. Makes it, didn't get smashed. Boink. Nice. Hopefully we get away with it. Fire this thing up. Handle's still jacked up. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna give her some throttle too when we go to start it. Okay, we got oil pressure. I'm gonna hold her kind of wide open. Just to make sure we don't have any super bad air bubbles in our system. Good to go. So we got a full service done, greased our drive shafts, we checked the front diff oil, and that reminds me we need to do the rear diff, check the air filter. I checked all the belts and everything. Everything looks really good underneath the hood. One issue that might not seem kind of like a big deal to a lot of people is the heater doesn't work in this truck, but with winter coming around and I want to use this thing, we've got to get that heater working. So I'm gonna go in there and try and troubleshoot this thing. So our heater's complete. This is where all of our relays are, and the cover is actually right here. So I'm gonna put all that back on and kind of clean that up a little bit. But this knob just kind of doesn't do anything, but I also noticed that there's these little set screws in here. So I'm gonna try with a pair of pliers. Hopefully it's just loose on here and we can figure that out. Ooh. That's pretty seized up. We're gonna take this apart. I'm gonna pull these Phillips heads out of here, pull this back and see if that switch is all corroded. So these valves seem to work, which is really good news. So I think we're good here. It's just our fan switch is hopefully the problem. So maybe I can try working it just a little bit harder. I just really don't want to break that thing off. Although we could probably buy something like this at the auto parts store, I would think. Yeah, it's pretty locked up. So maybe I'll get some vice grips and try and work it back and forth a little bit. Up. Get on it right here. Oh boy. Place your bets. Broke it right off. Okay, well, let's take this apart now and see if we can switch out this switch, change it out. I think that's our problem. So I've taken our little unit apart here. All the screws are out of it, all the bolts are out of it. And this is our switch, which I believe is like a little resistor in here. You see our little resistor. It's all broke off. But I think if I just take these two together, it should go full fan if I turn the dash on and it's operational. Let's see. Give it a shot, see what happens. To flip this on, and then let's see if we can tap these together. Nothing. Nothing. Our heater could be unplugged, so we'll have to check that. Nothing. Nope, whole lot of nothing here. I'll try turning these on, maybe that'll make a difference. Nope. I don't think we got any power. I went through our fuses here. CB26, or CB23, my apologies, right here. I just robbed CB36, which is our horn. This one was just missing, that was in our heater socket, so that was just gone. So now when I take these two together, this should go. Yeah, it works. Yep. Works great. Okay, well that's cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the switch out and see if I can find a switch at Napa, replace it, and hopefully we'll have ourselves a working heater. So I've cleaned this out with the air nozzle and I've got it pretty good. It's not perfect. That squirrel cage definitely has some stuff in it still, but I don't want to take all this apart to try and get all the stuff out. So, but it sounds pretty good. Kind of hear right at the end there, it's got some stuff in it still, but I'm gonna put all this back together. I just got a little switch from Napa because they didn't have a actual resistor switch, so it's just gonna go full party mode when we turn it on, which is fine for now, and then we'll order the correct switch, but that should go right into there and we should have a working heater. And just like that, the truck's out of the shop. I got it cleaned up as best I could. Heater's working full blast. Nice and warm in there. I don't see any big leaks, or any leaks for that matter. Let's go for a rip. Alternator's a little scary, but it goes down when you hit the heater. Nice. Drives good. Ooh, she's spunky. Nice, actually drives really smooth. She's a little squealy, but I think it'll probably go away once we run it a little bit longer. we're going 30, but I think we're going a little bit faster than that. LMTV, $800 from Hawaii, shipped it over here, fixed a couple things, and there's still some more things to fix because unfortunately our alternator, I checked it with a pair of leads and we're at like 31 volts, 31 volts, that's too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and find an alternator for this thing, get that fixed. But I think for 800 bucks, we absolutely scored on this truck, and wasn't as rusty as I thought it was gonna be. It's got a few, you know, speed holes in the roof, which I think we're gonna have to fix, but let me know what you guys think about painting this thing, cleaning it up, getting some new tires for it. I'd like to make this one of our go-getters, picking up parts, picking up transmissions, going back and forth to Nevada. I think it's the perfect truck for that. So I'm gonna wrap the video up right here. I appreciate you guys watching. This one was fun for me to make. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Got any questions, throw it in the comment section. I'll try and get back to you. I'll see you guys in the next video.